Hello and welcome to Faces of Crypto, where we get to know the faces behind the social media accounts that you guys love to follow in the crypto sphere. Today we are joined by Crypto Wendy O. How are you doing, Wendy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Glad to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us. So the first question I always ask every single person who comes on the show is just let our audience know, how did you first get into cryptocurrency?
Okay, so it was end of November 2017. I kept hearing about crypto on like Bitcoin on like libertarian radio, and I wanted to invest in something that was a little bit more risky because I'm just like I was kind of like my job was stagnant, things in my life were kind of stagnant. I'm like there has to be more. Like I was in school part-time and I was getting ready to quit my job to go to school full-time, but I always was interested in starting my own business or doing something like really different. So I invested in Coinbase, or I bought from Coinbase. I bought Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. And right when I bought, the weekend after, it dumped. I bought it like 7,100, and it dumped down to 5,000. I'm like, oh my god, this is insane. This is crazy. And then the week after that, it like shot up like super high, and then it just kept going and going and going, and it was really exciting. And like from then, I was completely hooked, and I fell down the rabbit hole, and things just got really exciting and fun from that point.
Yeah, it gets deep and dark fast.
Definitely.
Yeah. So it's definitely very addicting. And I think for, a lot of people who first start delving into cryptocurrency, like the moment when you come into the space is really important because like people who've been coming in over the last couple of months, they don't get that excitement. They don't really get hooked like people that have been in it before, maybe other cycles or, during this last bull run and stuff like that. So what is your background like outside of crypto?
So I actually worked in healthcare for 7 years. I worked for a large nonprofit HIV/AIDS company, and so I dealt with patient services, and I worked with that, and I was really unhappy with my job. I was going to school part-time because I was originally a bio major, and then I switched to business because I was like, I'm not going to stay in school for like 10 years and whatever. But then like after I found crypto, I really was excited to pursue my education in business because I just see a lot of opportunities there, and I feel like I can do more with that.
Yeah. And I think, and we'll talk about the trading and the TA and stuff like that in a second, but, just as far as crypto goes, for those of us that are, let's just say not only involved in it in terms of like day trading, like we're influencers, we have accounts and things like that. I'm always reminded of a story about when the gold rush happened in California in the 1800s, that like 90% of the people that went out to California didn't make any money. Only like 10% of the people that went out there were able to find the gold and stuff like that. But the people that were really making money and lasted were the ones that were selling the shovels and the hammers. And that's kind of how I think about, the people in the crypto space with in different areas, is that we're kind of selling the hammer or the shovels or the flashlights and things like that.
That's a really good analogy. Like, yeah, that's really, really good. Because I feel like there's so many different opportunities in crypto. Like networking is insane. Like this community is so amazing. Like you could literally probably DM anybody and be like, hey, I need help with this, or what are your thoughts on this? And they'll get back to you. Like I know my DMs are always open, and I'm like, if people have trading questions, like I want to answer and I want to help. And as far like we said with trading, it's like there's so many other things. Like just the technology behind crypto, like a lot of the crypto projects, like the blockchain. Like one of the things that really inspired me and made me fall in love with this industry is the fact that our current healthcare system completely sucks. Yeah. And I dealt with a lot of really, really sick patients and clients, and I saw them struggling to deal with because they were all on government insurance, majority of them. And I saw them struggling to deal with their insurance and to navigate it. And, even at my job, we didn't have resources. Like we kind of just figured stuff out ourselves. And I feel like blockchain can just improve the quality of life for so many patients and for the industry as a whole. So that's another thing too, is I'm in this to see, not like, of course I love trading and making money and teaching it, but I also am in it to see what I can do to help get healthcare on the blockchain, especially for the United States. I feel like it's just going to help so many people and improve quality of life.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually in my real job. I'm in a similar area, and it's just very easy to see how the technology will help my field or the field that you were in, or basically any field. And that's why we're all here, because we believe in the technology. We believe in basically a revolution that's coming, and it's very exciting. And so it's really cool to hear that you're trying to go to school for a business degree to apply to crypto down the road. I think that's really cool. So, okay, let's talk about your TA. You've become known as a TA expert. You know, it doesn't take much to become an expert on Twitter, but you know, no offense to you on that. I know you're good, but
No. I totally understand. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, okay. So I don't consider myself expert. I'm still learning. There's still a lot of techniques and things that I do need to learn. But I did, you know, I studied really hard and I practiced every day. I charted multiple coins. I literally charted Bitcoin like every single day. And I just practiced and practiced and practiced. And TA, like, is, you know, some people are like, oh, TA doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's not about we use different indicators to tell us, to try and help us predict where the market's going to go and why it's going to go that way. There's a rule that they say if you can find 3 things on your chart as to why price is going to go up or down, then you should enter the trade. Then you should enter the trade. And that's what I try to do, is I try to just see what's going on the chart. I'm looking at it, I'm using my indicators, and I'm using it to predict. Like, so I take chart requests. I will post anything if there's a chart for it, I will chart it. And I try to do this to like help other people learn and whatnot. But, you know, some of my predictions are wrong. They're not always right all the time. Like, you know, and that's normal. TA is not for us to be right all the time. It's more of a guide to give us entries and exits and why price is going to pump or why it's going to dump.
Yeah. I think that's good. That's kind of along the lines of what I told my audience in a live stream, and they were telling me that they were going to go get you so we could fight on the live stream. But yeah, they were like, "Where's Wendy?" So, you know, what I said, it actually is pretty similar in a lot of ways. I look at it kind of like the weather. You know, it's like the weatherman. He takes the conditions and he predicts the weather, and they're wrong like a whole lot of times. But where I really have issues with TA is when people they get a good call, they called something and it's right, and you know, people are praising him and saying, oh, great job, but I feel like the majority of the time, or at least close to the majority of time, you know, people are wrong. And when people are wrong about their calls, those kind of get swept under the rug, and then when they're right, you know, people really try to celebrate those people. And that's why for me it's not something I've really jumped into, because I've been hesitant. Because it feels like true. If you're right 55% of the time, you're gonna profit. But 45% of the time, if you're gonna lose, it's really hard to kind of make gains unless you have a significant amount of money in cryptocurrency. You know, I don't know what that significant amount would be, but what are your feelings on that? You know, I said I was gonna maybe put that change my mind meme on the screen. So I'm open. I just want to hear what your thoughts on that. And that's just my opinion, obviously.
So, I mean, okay, so you're right. There are people that post, you know, I mean, with any subject or with any topic in the world, people like to glorify when they're right about something. And we see this a lot with our news. Like we see people just going on about things. Oh, I was right about this and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, like if you want to be a successful trader, you need to recognize when you're wrong. And even if I have a wrong call, I'll post it. Like, I don't care. This last month, I did really well with trading. I did pretty darn good with swing trading. This month I sucked. I haven't executed a trade in like probably almost 3 weeks because my stack is locked up. So because I didn't see that, I knew price was going to go down, but the way my indicators and everything worked out, I thought I was going to be able to still exit and be successful with the trade. So I will be very honest about my calls and my mistakes. So I post a lot of my calls on Twitter and my trades. So that, as far as that goes with me. But at the end of the day, there are things you can do. Like if you have stop losses and if you have your portfolio diversified a certain way, you can make sure that if your stack does get locked up or something like that happens, that you're able to have enough money to reinvest and to wait for a setup. So, I mean, I do understand what you're saying, that people do, you know, only talk about like the negative stuff, or about their good calls, but it's also important to recognize the bad calls too, because it's a learning experience. But yeah. I don't know, with TA, I've done a lot of reading, I've done a lot of research, I've watched like a million YouTube videos, but I do know, like, if you can find those 3 indicators that work for you, like I use the Stoch RSI, I use MACD, and I use Bollinger Bands, and if you can connect all that together and you look at larger time frames, and if you're trading an altcoin and you're comparing those or you're comparing those time frames and your indicators with what BTC is doing, your chances of succeeding are going to be a lot greater. So I don't know. I like technical analysis. It works for me. I've done pretty well with small amounts because I am a full-time college student. I'm not investing like huge stacks of BTC or whatever. But you know, I'm hoping in the future that I can trade full-time and do crypto full-time.
Yeah, that's the dream, right?
Yeah.
To be able to day trade. So
I love it. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this question that I was thinking about as you were talking. And crypto is just so new. Is one thing about it. We don't have the same data on different projects that a stock, that's been around for 50 years or longer, we have. So, do you think it's more important during a bull run or a bear market to do TA?
Both. It's equally important to both because you can make money in both. I mean, if you're patient, a lot of people, they FOMO and they'll just jump into things because they'll see somebody on Twitter shill it, or they'll be like, oh, well, this is going to happen, mainnet's happening, and this and all these things. But at the end of the day, if you're going to trade on TA, you need to be patient. You need to wait for your setups and just not dive into it, it's all really all about patience, and then recognizing your support and resistance, and then trading on those, and again, be patient. And as far as all the data that we don't have, of course there's going to be a lot of projects that aren't going to be in the top 20 anymore, a lot of projects that are going to go away, and that's why it is important when you're trading to, you can have projects that you do like, but at the end of the day, I swing trade to make more BTC. And I became a bag holder of a lot of things in December. And now when I trade specific, I will buy something, I will swing it, and I will exit. And the only thing I'll keep left is I'll keep a really small moon bag, like 10% of my profit, just in case that coin does moon later in the future, because it is crypto and you do see a lot of things pump. So that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, no, that's good, because that was going to kind of be my next question, which was going to be, do you have a percentage that you hold no matter what? Do you have, because one of my problems, and I don't day trade by any stretch of the imagination. I definitely do make trades. I don't know what constitutes day trading. I don't trade every day for sure,
right?
But I'll get I'm really into ZRX. Like that's my biggest holding, and everybody knows why, right? Because everybody thinks it's going to go on Coinbase, and I know that the day I trade out of it will be the day that it goes on. So I'm stuck in it maybe for life. But do you have certain projects that you're kind of married to that you're going to hold no matter what, or is all of your portfolio just kind of fluid? You're just moving it around at all times?
That's a really good question. So like I said, I'm still a bag holder of a lot of items from December. I'm trying to get rid of them. What I do is now when I'm entering a project, I'll swing it. So I'll trade it for I'll make profit, and then I'll keep 10% of it. But if there's a project that I really, really like a lot that I think is going to do really well, what I will do is I will accumulate a moon bag, and I will exclusively swing trade that. And there's a coin, and this is not a shill, this is just my opinion as to why I like the project, but I really like Elix a lot. It's a crypto lending platform that's going to give users back rewards, no ICO. So it's a project I really like. So I will exclusively swing trade that on KuCoin or Coin Exchange. And what I'll do is I'll buy a bag, I'll swing it for like 20 or 30%, and then I'll keep 10% as a moon bag, and I'll just keep doing it over and over again to continue to accumulate my bag. So when I believe it is going to do really well, so when it does go up, that whole moon bag will be profit. So if there's a coin that I like, I'll do that. Like I'm gonna be doing that with ICX, and I'm trying to get into BAT right now as well.
Yeah, that's ZRX is my biggest holding, but BAT is my favorite project. I really like that. I like prospects for that going on Coinbase down the road based on some stuff that Brian Armstrong said in the past. But let me ask you this question, okay? So I want you to give me one project that you really like short term and why, and then one project you really like long term and why.
Okay, so short term, that one is going to be tough. I'm going to have to get back to you on that one. Okay. Because I like I said, mostly I swing a lot of stuff, but my long-term project is really Elix. I really, really like that. I like the team. I like that it's not an ICO. It kind of keeps government regulations away. And I mean, as far as like short-term projects, if I can swing something and I can make profit, I will swing anything. Like I don't really, as a short-term project, I really don't have something that I'm like, whatever. But Elix is definitely my long-term project that I can see doing really well in the future.
I think for someone to be a successful, swing trader, you've got to have a lot of exchanges you're working with, I would assume. So what exchanges do you work with? Which ones have you maybe had a good experience, some with a bad experience, things like that? What's your thoughts on exchanges?
To be honest, I'm on Binance, I'm on Bittrex, I'm on Bitfinex, I'm on Bidbox, I'm on KK Coin, I'm on Coin Exchange, Cryptopia. Like literally, if
Yeah.
you can come up with an exchange, I am registered there, and I use it if I can find a good product. As far as the like I have negative experience. I have yet to have a negative experience
Hmm.
with any of the exchanges. The only thing is I'm hoping that in the future, like Binance and some of the other larger exchanges, that they're going to get their interface, make it more clean looking as far as like trader friendly, and make everything flow and work well, because I feel like they have it set up so you're just looking at this little teeny tiny time frame, and you really can't chart on it. You can't draw
Yeah.
your lines. You can't do all that. And so I have two screens. Like I have my desktop, and then I have my trading laptop that I have like on my desktop I have like my trading view open, and my laptop I'm like actually doing trading, and I have to go and I have to write down, okay, this and this, and then apply it to,
Yeah.
if I'm on Binance or like whatever it is. So
Well, what
yeah.
what I've compared it to is because I just did a review on Buybox token, the token to go, or Bitbox, Buybox, however you want
Yeah,
to pronounce it.
whatever. I like
Yeah.
that exchange. It's really, really cool. I like it a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, it's good. The token has done pretty well also. But what I noticed is when I went to it is it's like the exact same setup as KuCoin. It's almost the same website. And so what I've compared it to is like online gambling sites. They're kind of plug and play. Like you want to have an online gambling site, okay. There's only a few basic templates that a lot of them use. And I think with crypto, we're really getting to this place where they kind of all need their own identity, especially as each one
Right.
has their internal token and they're giving people incentives for using their platform. I think it's going to be really, really good for someone to break out. Obviously, Binance is going to be probably the winner, I would say.
Right.
It's by far the
Definitely.
biggest. And in my opinion, it has the most security. You feel like, I could be wrong about this. I've made this statement before. Like you feel like if Binance got hacked, they might reimburse you your money, kind of like BitThumb did.
Okay.
Like that you feel like it's that reputable of a company, as opposed to some of these, like you don't know anything about this exchange. You might just stumble across
Right.
it, or you're looking at a coin and you're like, all right, what are the markets I can find this on? Like, what are my options? And then you find one, you don't even know how to use it, whatever. So exchanges are going to be a huge part of crypto going forward, as more and more are popping up all the time. But okay, so let me ask you this question. This is a question I ask every single person who comes on. We've kind of already touched a little bit on the crypto community, but kind of what role do you see the crypto community, whether it's crypto Twitter or Instagram or YouTube or TradingView, whatever it might be, what role do you see the community playing in the progression of crypto?
The community is super supportive. Like I think I posted this, but I literally, like, in all other industries and all, like, a lot of other aspects in life, I really never felt like I fit in. And then when I joined like crypto Twitter, and when I joined some of these other, crypto communities, I felt really good and I felt really confident, because literally everybody supports each other. Like if you're just nice to people and you're not trolling people or sending like dirty DMs or like whatever, like the community is going to be nice to you. Like if you're a nice person, like they're going to accept you and they're going to support you. And I feel like if you're planning on putting out a quality product, or you want like a clothing company or a website or whatever, like if you're a nice person, like you have their support. And I feel like I've had so many people support, like when my Twitter started like getting really, really big. And I just feel like whatever path you decide to go on, the community is really behind you. That's how I feel. I mean, it's really, really awesome.
I think it's true. It's really good. Other than Reddit.
I probably should use Reddit, but I'm like on so many different like social medias right now. It's starting to get a little bit overwhelming. And then with my meetups and everything, but yeah, the crypto community, they're freaking awesome. Like I'm blessed to be in the space at this time, because it's really, really cool.
Well, I think years down the road, we're going to look back at this time in the very beginning of, yes, it's not the very beginning of cryptocurrency. That goes back, to 2009, really 2010, 2011-ish. But this is the beginning of the community in my mind.
Yes.
And we're all going to look back 4 or 5 years, and I think we're not going to believe how far crypto has gone, how big everybody's accounts are. But this is we should really cherish this time, though, in a way where it is so small that you can reach out to even your the biggest people in the space, and many of them will respond to you. So, I mean, even some of the people like Charlie Lee, like he might respond to a tweet.
Right.
or something like that. So it's really cool, and where all the biggest people in the space are all at the conferences, and you can take pictures with them and stuff like that, and talk to them like they're real people. In the future, that's probably, the space is going to be too big. So I think it's really cool that we enjoy this time while we got it and stuff like that. So definitely agree with you on the community being
I can't wait for somebody to post or to make a book or a movie about it later on. I feel like it's going to be really interesting, because there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that people don't know about, like on the Telegram and the Discord and all that kind of stuff. There's so many sub communities to so many different coin projects and all these things. It's going to be really interesting to see just all the back stuff. It's gonna be real. I'm gonna look forward to watching that.
It's gonna be like a CNN special, the beginning of Lupe coin.
I know, I love it. Yeah, that's my another thing too is I love meme coins. They make the space so much more fun, because you don't see that in any other community. You can literally make fun of something or joke about something, and nobody in crypto gets offended, and that's awesome, because I feel like society as a whole, everybody's so afraid of offending somebody else, but in our space we don't care. We're just we're here to have fun, we're here to make money, we're here to communicate, let's just have fun. So yeah,
I think it's awesome. So well, thank you so much, Wendy, for joining us on the show today. Really appreciate all of the insight and getting to know you. That's the whole point of the show, getting to know the faces of crypto. So if you could just let everybody know where they can find you at.
Of course. I am at CryptoWendyO. I am on Twitter. I am on Instagram. I am on TradingView. I am on YouTube. And I'm going to have a LinkedIn coming soon, and probably a website within the next year, I would imagine.
Okay. So. Awesome. Well, I'll make sure to put that information in the video description below so people can check all that out. So thank you again for joining us, and thank you to our audience for joining us on Faces of Crypto.
Thank you. Have a good day, guys. Mwah.